Everybody, Joe here, and I'm back to take this image that we used in Lightroom to create the photo merge and use the new ability to fill in stuff that was missing, but I know you weren't completely happy with it, and I wouldn't leave it here either. I see some repeating patterns down here in the brush and in the shadows here, and also there's a slight dip in the sky, and that's something beyond Lightroom's ability, and I'm not going to leave you hanging. So let's send this thing into Photoshop and fix it. By the way, let's take a look at the image size real quick, and you can see that this this image with the 9 stitches put together is almost 21,000 pixels wide. What does that mean? That means you could make, more than 100-inch wide print of this with no problem. But we're not going to do that. We're going to fix it. So let's send it into Photoshop. Photo, edit in Photoshop. So here's our pano opened in Photoshop. Let's do a background copy first. Command J, which will make us a copy of this. So there's our new layer. And again, as I mentioned, the problems. The horizon is probably the biggest problem. So to give us a guideline, Command or Control R to bring up rulers. And I'm going to click on the top and click in the ruler and drag down to give me a straight line so I can see how bad my horizon is. I'm going to put it above the horizon a bit. And you can see where it's almost touching here. By the time it gets down here, it's a problem. So we're going to use a simple tool. We're going to use just a free transform to fix this part. So let's go up to Edit, Free Transform, or Command or Control T. And if I grab one of the corners, it's just going to stretch the thing out. That's not what we want. What you have to do is hold down the Command key or Alt key on your keyboard and click and drag, and that allows you to drag just in one direction. And look, that quickly I can straighten out that horizon and not affect the rest of the image. So we just hit enter on that and it will do its magic. All right, so now we've got our horizon straight. We can get rid of the rulers, which is, again, Command R. We can go up to View and we can clear our guides under Guides, Clear. Fine, what else? Well, I mentioned that when we first did this, we've got some repeating patterns down here in this brush. As remarkable a job as it did, this is a little too repeaty. So what we're going to use is of course, now it's called the Clone Stamp tool. It's the keyboard shortcut is S, which means originally this was actually the stamp tool. But anyway, so let's get ourselves a nice big brush. I think something about like that. And I'm going to make the edge hardness a little bit harder, about 25%. So what I want to do is I want to fill in some of these spots that kind of make it look like a repeating pattern. And mostly what does it is right here, this repeated shadow right here is kind of a giveaway. So I'm going to make my brush a little smaller. And what do I want to put in here to break that up? Let's see. Let's choose, let's take something over here. Let's try that. So I'm going to click in here and come in here just to fill that and put in a different shadow, and that breaks it up. And I'm going to hold down the Alt key and select a piece over here just to break up the bottom a little bit. And one more time, we'll click over in here. And as I'm looking at this, I think I'm going to bring this down. And what that does is it just kind of blends everything together. Now you really can't tell. And just keep doing this to what looks right to your eye. Like that's a distraction, that's got to go. That looks a heck of a lot better. Right in here, there's something going on, and it's a good idea to zoom in. So let's get ourselves a little bit smaller brush, and I want to get rid of this. So I'm going to pick in here and just kind of get rid of that. Now, yeah, that's looking pretty good. So now let's drag over to the right. And this is the other part that I saw as a problem. If you look at a full screen, you can see these repeating patterns in here. So that's got to be fixed. So let's get our zoom tool, zoom down in here. There's just this same plant happening over and over again. So Alt, and I'm going to click in here. And again, let's just break it up. We don't have to get rid of all of them. It's okay that we have some. There are similar plants. I just don't want exact copies. Like this and this are kind of exact. It's okay if there's one there, but you get repeating patterns, and that's a giveaway. So let's get rid of that. And yeah, that quickly we got rid of that. Is there any places here? Well, you can see we've got this same exact flower at the same exact angle here. That's appearing all over the place. So I'm just going to get rid of all of them. Are there any other problems? There's some sticks in here that are kind of repeating. Don't really notice it that much, but I'm going to alt click down in here and get rid of those as well. All right, so now let's back off to our full. And now I see that I really don't see the repeating patterns. However, I'm also seeing that I don't necessarily want all of this. There's a little bit maybe too much on the bottom. And I think I might want to crop this in Lightroom. So let's send this thing into Lightroom. I'm going to go ahead and hit Command or Control E to flatten the image. And let's save it to send it back into Lightroom. We'll do our final crop there. So I tab over to Lightroom, and again, the reason for this shadow that to me is a problem is it's a kind of a big dark mass, and it's drawing your eye, away from the lighthouse and the rest of the shore. So let's hit the R key for a crop, and let's get rid of most of it. We really don't need it. It's a little bit too much of a visual distraction. I think something more like that. And by the way, a standard frame size that you can get pretty much anywhere is 3:1. So let's take a look at the crop and see what a 3:1 would look like. And it's actually narrower. So let's do something about, do we want to have, yeah, about there. Let's do that. And that's a nice 3:1. It's a standard frame. I'll add a little vignette. I'll do a -12 vignette on that. Are there other edits? Would I get rid of the people maybe? Well, I don't know. Depends what you want to do with the image. But anyway, just wanted you to see that we can fix. In fact, I'll go full screen on these. Let's go full screen. So there's the original after having the autofill from Lightroom. And then we just did the rotation, the content aware fill, and the free transform to straighten out the perspective a little bit. And now we have an image that works a lot better. So there's our result, taking that image from Lightroom into Photoshop to fix those little problems, and it resulted in a cool image. So that's it. We fixed the problems. We can move on. So that's it for today. Thanks again for watching, and have yourself a great week. Bye-bye.